right, everybody, welcome tonight. It is a beautiful evening here in Western Pennsylvania. It is September the 7th, 8:30. We are rolling as normal, blasting the signal out loud and clear, towering 13 feet above South Mercer Street from the 16125 zip code. I'm about 7 miles as the crow flies, I think, from the Ohio state line. I don't know if that information is pertinent, but that's where I am, and we are cooking tonight. So it's so nice to see all of you in here, and it is going to be a great evening. I see you guys talking to each other. Jack Shack, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. There's the Augustine rolling up in the house. Seth Porter, welcome to you. Elaine DeWolf, good evening. Judy Roberts, as always, saying a big hello there. I did see the message. Let's see. Well, I see John and Lynn over here to my right checking in on the YouTube crew. And then I did see a message right here. Let me throw that one up there. Good evening, PG and Barney. The 91-year-old couple is waiting for you to begin. Well, we are here and glad to see you here. Fireballs, Roanoke, Virginia. Bob Piccarilli, Sharpsville, Pennsylvania. We are cooking. We got Mississippi in the house. Shirley Leventry, God bless you. Diana Tarleton, as always, welcome to you. California is in the house. Heather Weinmiller, North Carolina, is in the house. Ray Fell needs the Hope Train. Ray Fell, do you need the Hope Train? We all need the Hope Train. Woo! All right, Raphael, that one was just for you, my man. So you've got Hope Train and you've got ice cream in front of you, I am assuming. I think, I've got all these delays going on, which is normal when working on a stream like this. But I think Diana Tarleton just posted something. I want to share that in a second before we get going here. It's going to be good. Let me see. It's got to pop through. There it is. Diana Tarleton, we would give you a big cheer on that one. Boom. Get ready for the greatest move of God mankind has ever seen. Bill, Rita, and Janice are in the house. All right. It is awesome. Welcome to all of you tonight. We're loaded. We are absolutely loaded. If you saw the preview that I try to drop out about 6:30, tells you where we're going for the night. Tonight, we're going to be talking about America and the importance that we need to be united. We're going to look at some interesting things, of course. We will be checking in on what's happening in Afghanistan. And I'll share more about that in just a moment. Mark Reimold, good evening to you. That's my Words with Friends partner, and I'm getting closer. He's really good at words to friends. I'm telling you. Can't even catch that joker yet. But my point being is, tonight, there are some very interesting things that I'm going to pull out. And then we're going to have a message of hope. I've got a scripture we're going to be looking at. And tonight, folks, we have a special guest coming on in a little while. I'm actually looking over here at Mission Control, and I see him hopping up in the seat here in a few moments. Everything is golden. Going to be bringing in, and you tonight, folks, are going to meet the legendary Stephen Haywood from the Tech Buzz, from PTZ Optics, and the legend that is behind making all of this stuff work. So you'll be meeting him, and we're actually going to be having a little bit of conversation about media, about manipulation, about the power of media and the power of community. And this cat knows what he's talking about. So you are going to introduce that. You do not want to miss that. Nathan Wright, let me give you a shout out. Brother, you're not late. You're right on time. Why? Because right now it's time for the beverage of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, What you are about to witness is not only exciting and educational, but sometimes a bit risky as well. Do not try this at home. It's time for the beverage of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is...
What on earth? I got that button double binded. But I know how to stop it. Folks, coming in tonight, beverage of the night, delivered to the Palatial Studios by, as usual, Nameless. Folks, how many times do I have to tell you? I love all of you dearly. We're a wonderful community here. Great church, great extended family, great news, things we're doing all together. Folks, if you drop off a beverage, please put your name on it. I want to give you credit. Now, this is a green can, so you're going to look transparent for you. So whoever dropped off Bella V Bold, thank you. A lot of you guys ship me beverages through the mail, then I got you because your name's on it. But when you drop it off at the studios or the church offices, sometimes you remain anonymous. No bueno. I want to give you credit. So whoever, thank you. Bella Via Bold, calorie-free, sugar-free, sodium-free, probably going to be taste-free, pure aqua, cherry lime, flavored, sparkling water. Folks, did you hear the top pop? Hold now. Hold now. Folks, I'm going to tell you something. I don't even know where this comes from. God bless whoever delivered it. But Bella Via Bold Cherry Lime is phenomenal. Got a great sparkling water taste. The cherry's there, the lime is there, and I just want to say thank you very much. I'm going to enjoy that one tonight. Folks, I see you all here. I see you talking to me. I see you over there, Loziers. God bless you, Janet Smith, Ann Hockett. Mark Weeks Sr. checking in. How about Braden and Florida up in the house tonight? Let's go, Mark Weeks. Good grief. Braden and Florida. All right, folks, time to get to it. We're going to have a good time tonight. It's time for Barney to step up. It's time for Barney. Boom. Yes, everybody, Bernard P. Fife is here.
This is what we call the deadly game. I'm in it for keeps.
This is a deadly game, and Barney's in it for keeps. How about one more?
Nip it in the bud. First sign of youngsters going wrong, you got to nip it in the bud.
Folk, nip it in the bud. Actually, a prophetic word from Barney Fife on where we're heading tonight. Get ready. It's going to be awesome. I told you I was going to talk to you for a moment about the Taliban, and in just a few moments, we're going to be rolling in our special guest, Stephen Haywood. But folks, right now, let me tell you what happens. So we had this big picnic at our local church here where we base out of, and it was for our volunteers and guests. Our volunteers and people who were serving in the church. Had about 150 come out for the picnic Sunday afternoon. It was a great success. We'll probably talk about that a little bit more later. But I was so happy I was able to sit at a table with a bunch of ladies. Now, they are active in ministry. They're a little bit my senior. I'm not going to say how old they are, 69, 70, 71. I don't know. They're out there a little bit, 72. But it was my speed and my crew. And we had a great time. We're sitting around a table. Many of them watch the program regularly. They're in here tonight. And they asked me, how do you get this news together? Where do you get it together? How do you make sure you're not giving stuff that's false, whatever? So the experience is every Tuesday and Friday. So the program's about every 3 days. And I told them what I like about that is it gives me time to confirm. Because if you're new in here, I'm not pulling news typically from American sites, because American journalism, whether it's CNN, whether it's USA Today, whether it's Fox News, CBS, ABC, NBC, MSNBC, it doesn't matter. They are all biased in their viewpoints. And instead of getting news, many times all they give is political commentary, and you have a lot of what is called political hacks on there pushing their agenda. So that's not what I do. I do a lot of research on my own. I look at a lot of foreign media. So this story has been unfolding for a few days, and I didn't want to bring it to you until I could absolutely confirm it. And a lot of times with the things that are going on in Afghanistan, I actually confirm it from my friends in Pakistan or India. So they're right there, and this is accurate stuff. But the reality is, folks, there are some crazy things going on, and the Taliban has announced a new government for Afghanistan. This is a fact. Now, many of you, sometimes you see the word emirate, and you can see that right there, the bottom left of your screen. What does emirate mean? Well, emirates actually means it's a piece of land. It's not really a country, but it's a piece of land that is ruled by the emir. So, like Dubai is an emirate, but it's a part of the United Arab Emirates. Dubai is basically this big city state. But in Afghanistan, it's a regional view where it even crosses some of the national borders. Because remember what I taught you, Afghanistan and Pakistan are really new nations, but the people there are based on people groups and tribal groups. In fact, many people living in India and Pakistan that are now brother against brother enemies are in the same family. They're in the Punjab people group. The same thing happens in Afghanistan and Pakistan. So the Taliban has announced a new government, and they're in charge. Here comes the problem. They're thugs and terrorists, and they've created an emirate, which is ruled by an emir. Basically, it's a king. It's the ruler. His word stands. No women in the government. Of course, we knew that was going to happen, but of course, everybody's waiting to see, oh, well, maybe they've changed. Well, let me show you tonight, and this is confirmed, how much they've changed. This cabinet is basically made up of butchers who spearheaded attacks against United States armed forces and targets over the last 20 years since 9/11 happened. The leader is going to be Mullah Muhammad Hassan Akhund. This cat, gentleman who needs Jesus, is wanted on the UN blacklist. He's the boss. Now, let's take it a step further. This one's terrible. The Interior Minister, that's the dude who's going to be responsible for what's going on in Afghanistan. He's on the FBI most wanted list. His name is Sirajuddin Haqqani. These are facts. Go anywhere and look at it now. This is the truth. Sirajuddin Haqqani is the Interior Minister for the Taliban government. Do you know who this cat is? Well, let me show you something. I pop over here to the handy desktop. Let me roll this up for you. This is the United States Counterterrorism Guide. The website is dni.gov that puts out the alerts on terror groups. This is an American government security site, dni.gov. Haqqani Network, right there on your screen. It's throughout Afghanistan and Pakistan. And the leader of the Haqqani Network is now the Interior Minister, Sirajuddin Haqqani, in the new emirate of Afghanistan. Folks, how on earth can we allow things like this to happen? You may say, well, who is this cat and why is he so bad? let me just tell you one thing. Haqqani, guess who his teacher was? In fact, I'm going to give you a moment just to think about it. Haqqani is a student of Osama bin Laden. It's not hearsay. You're not going to read it anywhere. It's a fact. His mentor is Osama bin Laden. Yeah. And now, America, we're going to figure out how we can work with the Taliban. We're going to try and work with the very people who want to murder us. No way. In fact, let me take it back a step further before I lose too much of my mind tonight. The Taliban right now in this new government is holding 100 American hostages. Okay, now PG, you're not allowed to say they're holding American hostages. Why am I not? It is a fact. Right now, there are American hostages held at the Kabul airport by the Taliban, not allowing them to leave the airport. If you are restrained in a place and you are not allowed to leave, guess what? You're a hostage. Now, you may not be at the level where, ransom demands or we want this, but folks, if they're not allowed to leave, it's called a hostage. 1,500 other Afghanis that are trying to depart are held at the Afghani airport. And listen, right now in Kabul, and many of them are on planes and not allowed to leave. Now, folks, I don't know if you've ever been on a plane for a long time. I have. I've been on a plane for 18-hour flights. I've been sitting on the tarmac when there's delays for 2 and 3 hours. These people are just sitting there. That's called hostages. In fact, Glenn Beck, American patriot who sent over planes, the private group, and in fact, I would like to give Kenneth Copeland a shout out. I don't often, because I don't always agree with him, but I will give him respect here because he sent a plane with Glenn Beck to get people out of Afghanistan. So thank you to those guys. They raised money, Samaritan's Purse. They have on-ground reports, which we've already read when I shared it with you the other night, of people being killed, women being beaten, kids being beaten. This is not just what people are saying. Even some of our own leaders in our House of Representatives and Senate, both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, are saying the same thing. Why are these people being held there? Let me answer that for you. It's because the Taliban wants to be recognized as a real government. Folks, we can't do that. What we need to do is load up and go in there and get our people out. This is ridiculous. Now, here's where it even gets a little bit more ridiculous. This is a fact. I waited a couple of days. The truth came through. It is a fact that the current administration did block Americans and Afghanis who were on planes trying to leave. They had the permissions to leave. And the American government said, hang on, because we're not going to allow you to land in foreign airports of foreign nations or at any American bases. These are not hearsays. These are not conspiracies. This is a fact. Our own administration has held our people back from leaving Afghanistan. Today, President Biden was in in New Jersey. Yeah, he wouldn't go to Afghanistan. Yeah, what am I saying? Sure, he would go. He'd go set our people. Oh, I got to stop. He was in New Jersey and viewing flood damage, Hurricane Ida damage, and he got absolutely pummeled by hecklers who were continually shouting, and many of them were veterans, that he will leave you behind. Now, folks, that's what's really going on. That's what's going on with the Taliban government. That's what it is going on with, yes, we have folks there. They are stranded there. And right now, the movement to get them out is very, very slow to non-existent. And in fact, a lot of the private industries that are going in, whether it be Glenn Beck, whether it be Samaritan's Purse. There are even some patriot groups that have went in. Can you believe this? They have went in to rescue Americans and Afghanis. Citizens, many of them have former military backgrounds. They're there right now, and they're being blocked many times by the Taliban or by our own administration. Folks, it is absolutely ridiculous. But this story is going to connect to something else I'm bringing you in just a moment. Right now, with this going on, here's my problem. Here's my big problem. Right now, Vice President Harris, where in the world is she? I have no clue. I don't know. And President Biden, they're more concerned about getting to California to get Gavin Newsom reelected than they are concerned about our own Americans that are trapped in Kabul. More concerned. Joe Biden will be out there next week to campaign for Gavin Newsom. Kamala Harris is heading out there to campaign for Gavin Newsom. Let me tell you how to win the election, and this is pretty simple. If you want to win the election in California as a governor, then be involved in getting the kids from Sacramento that are trapped in Kabul out, and whoever gets them out will win the election. You can put that in the bank. So instead of just deflecting and running around and focusing on other things, why don't you lead our country? The little graphic I got there to the left: important, essential, deadline, crucial, goal, prioritize. Folks, Gavin Newsom in California, God bless you, Diana Tarleton, and all the other Californians. I lived in California, so I can talk about California. I love California. But right now, it's not a priority. What is a priority is getting our nation stabilized. After that, sure, let's deal with what's going on. But my goodness, we've got people that are trapped, and we're worried more right now about an election. There's a phrase that I found today that I want to share with you. Leadership is not a position or a title. It is action and example. It's from Cory Booker. I want you to process that for one moment. And you know what, Rick Barry? You know what? You're right. Leadership is not a position or a title. It is action and example. Folks, I want to talk to you about that for a moment. Whatever you're responsible for in your life, make sure that you're doing your best to provide a good example. And the reality is, many of us, if not all of us, at times, we pass that test brilliantly. There are many times that we fail that test miserably. But as we fail, we should learn from our failures, and we should go forward, grow, get better. Just remember, no matter where you're at, no matter what you're doing, everybody is leading somebody. Leadership's never a position or a title. It's action and example. That can happen in a business place. That can happen in a corporate setting. But dear friends, and I know many of you are church folk, not everybody, it can happen in the church world. Should I say it? Yeah, let's go ahead and say it. If somebody has to tell you that they are an apostle, I'm not saying they're not, but leadership's not a position or a title. It's an action and an example. If somebody has to tell you, well, I'm a prophet. Oh, really? Maybe. But I'd rather see the fruit and let the fruit stand for itself. That's my point here. Whether it's in the church world, the business world. You know, I use this guy as an example many times on my programs. Careful, Greg. LOL. Now, that family, Benjamin and Pam Waldron, they're prophetic, but they don't run around and say, hey, we're prophets. No, they let their fruit do the talking. Right now, our administration has no fruit. Let's have some fruit do the talking. I better be. Look at here. Look at here. You know what? Last time I checked, Bruce Lozier, I'm a servant. Last time I checked, that's also what Jesus said. Diana Tarleton, she says, I agree with you. I remember you will know them by their fruit. That is correct. Diana Tarleton, I also lived in Sacramento, California. I lived in Folsom and Gold River. So you now know the rest of the story. Love Sacramento. So, folks, doesn't matter. I was telling you, I follow this guy and I learn a lot from him. He's not a believer. But, you know, when people are successful, you need to learn from them. They need Jesus. But I read a lot after Elon Musk. Elon Musk, one of the most wealthy people in the world. One of the most brilliant people in the world. Yeah, PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX. Pretty smart guy. But man, he is as humble as dirt. He wears a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and lives in a small house because he just wants to be a servant leader. Maybe some of that could spread into the church world, into the government world. How will it? By you and I doing what we're supposed to be doing. I want to show you one last thing, and then it's going to be time to roll in Stephen Haywood. Right now, New York City youth, beautiful America, are being paid to not commit crime. And listen, I understand. I've spent a lot of time in big cities. I know that a lot of these kids live on the streets. I know they're from broken families. I know that the struggle is real and they live in ghettos and drug-infested neighborhoods and it's crime-ridden. I understand it, but paying somebody not to commit crime is not the answer. What the answer is by instilling mentorship programs into these inner cities. Instead of sending $50 billion to save some tree rat in Oregon, maybe we ought to take $50 billion and hire mentors and public service programs and get them into these inner cities of New York and San Francisco and Portland and Seattle and Dallas and Los Angeles and Miami and Atlanta. And I can keep listing them all because I read the map all the time. Get these programs going and then allow the light of the gospel to come in and plant churches and win these people to Christ. But paying them to commit crime will do nothing but cause more crime. I'm telling you right now, because when you can play the system, when Johnny can go sign up, listen, when Johnny can go sign up and sign the thing, I'm not going to commit a crime. I'll take my $1,000. Who do you think's going to manipulate all of that? The criminals. This is so simple. Putting money into our people. I'm not worried about a tree frog or some rock on the side of a mountain or some owl sitting in a tree. Last time I checked, God will take care of the animals. He gave us the mandate to care after creation, to care after people. And when you care after people, the rest of it will be cared for anyway. Put our money into people, our people, right after we get our people home. San Francisco, city I love. What a beautiful city right there. In fact, I think it's the most beautiful city in the world. My opinion. There's no prettier sight than looking across the bay from Oakland at beautiful San Francisco with the beautiful skyline and the fog rolling in and the Golden Gate Bridge in the background, with Alcatraz in the foreground and Treasure Island, there is no more beautiful sight in the world. But San Francisco right now has lost its way. Lost its way. I checked this out clearly because Lowe's just had, in San Francisco, had huge runs of theft and nobody did anything and people started complaining. So I looked at the San Francisco code. San Francisco cannot prosecute shoplifters, the city of San Francisco, unless you steal over $950 worth of product. $1,000. So if you go in and steal $750 worth from Rite Aid or Home Depot, they're doing nothing to you. Folks, we need to get into these cities and we need to share common courtesy, human decency, and the love of Christ. Could you imagine what $50 billion investment would do into our own people and into our own cities? Right now, we're working on $3.2 trillion for an infrastructure deal. Let me tell you about the infrastructure that needs to be fixed. Yes, our roads need to be fixed. Yes, our bridges need to be fixed. Yes, our airports need to be fixed. We have the worst airports in the world. These are facts. You want to go to beautiful airports? Go to a foreign country. These are facts. But here's the infrastructure that needs to be fixed. And listen to me closely tonight. If you fix the infrastructure of people, if we were to invest in the infrastructure of people, of kids, of youth, of adults, of senior adults, of children, if we were to put trillions into the infrastructure of humanity, then everything else would resolve itself. People would be back at work. People would be honoring their country. People would be living with civic mindedness. People would be living, obeying the golden rule, preferring others, servant lifestyle. These things would happen if we invested in the right infrastructure first. That was off topic, but it just came out. That's just where it's at. Last thing. Then I'm bringing Stephen in here. He better be over there. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I see you. I put a flag right there, and my commercial preview that we post on Facebook and share tells people the program's coming and what it's going to be about. I talked about United We Stand. Right there, I'm showing you a flag that is cracked. I hate to even put that on my program, but I'm showing you a flag that is cracked. Why? Because right now, our nation is divided. Of course, it's divided politically. Of course, it's divided spiritually. It's divided economically. It's divided socially. And I want you to think about this for just a moment. And you know what, Faye Williamson, I see you in here. God bless you. Nice to have you in here. Divided. You know, the scripture says that basically a kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. And Jesus was talking about why Satan wouldn't cast out Satan. But it's such a principle. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. I want you to think about something right now in America. I want you to think about it. I'm just going to give some principles here, but even in the church world, think about it. Right now, Texas, as we talked about the other night, they are pushing forward, have signed into law the basically it rules out abortion in Texas. If the heartbeat's verifiable, you cannot abort, period. Done. And typically, people do not even know they're pregnant until the heartbeat's there. It's just basically, they got them. So now Portland, Oregon is weighing a boycott of Texas to the point where the city of Portland and potentially the state of Oregon would cease to do any business to permit travel to the state of Texas because of their abortion laws. That, my friends, is called a divided nation. Seniors. I put the year 2034. In the year 2034, there will be more seniors in the United States than there will be children under 18. Fact. Divided. Divided over how we take care of seniors. Our economy, absolutely divided. We don't have people working. COVID-19, completely divided. Right now, there is a battle going on in schools. And you hear so many things. Well, this kid's got to be masked. This kid doesn't have to be masked. Well, we're going to protest. Well, we're going to sue. No, you've got to do it or the insurance is canceled. What is it? It's just noise, 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 noise. Chaos, 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 division, division, division. That's what's happening. United States citizenship, immigration services, our border, divided. Climate change, divided. Foreign policy, divided. I could have made that list 30 items. Divided. And I didn't even go to the church world because I didn't want to be disrespectful. Church world, divided. Right now, we need to come together as a family. We need to come together as a community. We need to come together as the body of Christ. It doesn't matter that we do not agree on everything. In fact, there are folks in here that watch my program that are on the left. There are folks in here that are on the right. There are folks in here, and I'm not talking about politically, in the middle. There are folks in here on the other side that don't even care. But we all come together and we need to find the common ground of truth where we can come together and make changes in our society. It must happen. Folks, we're not going to wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be better. Nathan, you are right. The world needs Jesus. Rick Barry, I'm sorry for you, sir. That is a United States Vietnam veteran, combat mega, and not even flies on flag due to the rules of the flag. Yes, Diana Tarleton, pray by the Spirit for God's ways and not our ways. You guys are spot on. That's what's happening. Now, folks, this is where we have to make the change. We do it together. With that in mind, I want to bring in tonight my friend and a guest, Mr. Stephen Haywood, and we are going to talk about that a little bit tonight. Stephen, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Are you kidding? You the man. Folks, tonight I would like to introduce you guys Stephen Haywood. Stephen is a pastor. Stephen is a broadcast engineer. Stephen is a streamer, YouTuber. Stephen is basically the man that's behind making all of this happen. And we have become friends and partners. And a couple of reasons I wanted Stephen here tonight was A, I want you guys to meet him. But B, I want to talk with Stephen about, he's listened to the whole program because he's monitoring, but I want Stephen as a 15-year broadcaster. Okay, to talk. All right, Bishop Stan, let's go. Can you see my comments? He said, I'll go there. The church world is as divided as the world. The devil is the author of discord and disunity, and the church has bought into his strategy. Let's go, Bishop Stan. Folks, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get Bishop Stan in here. I'm going to see if he can come in here this week. Maybe Friday. Oh, you talk. Oh, we'll roll, man. Bishop Stan, I'm going to be calling you. But here's the deal. Folks, we live in a different world. Stephen Haywood, you've been in this industry for a long time. And what I wanted to talk to you tonight about was the power of media. Media, information has changed in our world. And that's what we're going to talk about. But before we do that, you can greet the folks. And they're in here from everywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Integrity Television. And Say whatever you want to say, and then we'll start talking about it.
Yeah, I see you guys in there. I see Janet Smith. Thanks for the warm welcomes here, guys. I have to follow up this whole conversation here. I was wondering how I could get in on the free money there you were talking about.
Well, you can go to New York City and not commit a crime.
Oh, okay. Well, I can.
Or
do
go to
that.
San Francisco and steal under $950 value and then sell it on eBay.
No, I'm not going to do
That's
that.
your two choices.
I thought I just had to be good. If I can be good and they're just going to pay me, then, you know.
No. Stephen, how is media pushing the narrative, whether it's anti-church, anti-America, or misinformation with news? What's the real power of media? How have we devolved in this world? This is your world. How have we devolved?
Well, I think it's because it's so easily accessible now. Anybody and everybody can create or become a roaming reporter, a live streamer like we're doing now. They can create content, whether it's true or whether it's false. And I think when President Trump was in office, he really started making people aware of the whole fake news. And that's been going on for a while. This isn't something that Trump just came up with. It's people have been creating content and creating shows and things to fit their narrative for years. We've seen this is nothing new. It's just that people that haven't consumed those types of medias are just now becoming what are they calling it now? Woke. They're just now waking up to something like that, right? So it's something anymore that I feel like it's April Fool's Day every day, where you have to be careful about what you read and what you see on the internet, because just because it's on the internet or just because you read it from a reliable source doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Let me push that a step further for you. You know, on our Broadcast Now program, Stephen and I do a program together on Thursday nights called Broadcast Now. One of our panelists is a former ESPN stud. It was in that network world. Okay. Talk about networks. You know, you used to could trust Walter Cronkite to tell you what's going on. Okay. But now, even the TV we flip on, it's manipulated.
Yep.
Listen, think about this for a second, Stephen. If a weatherman, and God bless weathermen, they do tough jobs. But if a weatherman will fake scenes like they're leaning into the wind on the hurricane so they can get more viewers, and then there's people walking behind them with a cell phone going, "What are you doing?" That's a weatherman. What is a newsman gonna do? And their purpose is ultimately to get viewers and clicks to get the money from the ads. So it's not just some website. Now it's our mainstream media.
Yeah, I mean, you see all the times posts even on things that you really enjoy, right? You see it, and you've heard the term called clickbait, right? And a lot of times these quote-unquote reliable news outlets will use a headline that jumps up the page like Biden gets indicted or Trump's getting indicted. Well, when in reality, that's just an opinion. But then somebody will take that and they'll share it. And then they'll share it without even actually reading the article or, you know, researching it at all to find out. And this has been going on and on. And honestly, these normal people that like you and I that are creating content are getting our information even before major news networks. And so they're just grabbing different things, and it's the power of editing, right? You can edit anything that you're saying or I'm saying and make it fit a narrative regardless of whether it's true or false.
All right, Stephen, so help me out here. We've got a really large crowd in here tonight, and a lot of my demographic that I appeal to is multiple age groups. I've got young, I've got middle age, and I've got a lot of 50 plus. A lot of 50 plus. Praise God, I'm not there yet. You're not there yet either, are you?
Not there yet. Getting close, but I'm not there yet.
Please teach my community one more time about the power of clickbait and the power of the share and the power of misinformation that really it's destroying our world. That's a fact. Misinformation, whether in the news or the church world, it's destroying it.
Can I give an example? Can I use an example of a
Yes, you can.
a news article about the corona? Can we say that? Can we? Are we allowed? Or do we have to say C19?
I don't know. I've
How do
already
we-
been
how do we-
taken off the air one time, so hopefully.
Well, I just don't want to get you thrown off, so we'll call it C19. So,
Okay.
a relative of ours had read an article that if you get vaccinated and touch somebody that's younger than the age of 13, you could make them sterile if you had the vaccine for the C19. And began to post that all over social media. And because that person is well respected, it got shared and shared and shared. And it becomes basically all these things that you see on Facebook become what we used to do in the 90s is called forwards in emails. People sharing this news article and forwarding it, and you had to open up 20 emails to get to the actual, you remember that, right? That's the problem of everything that's going on right now is the media, people are making what we see and what we do on a daily basis what it is today. I can't stress that enough. Like, there are so many sites out there that you can just Google search something and you'll find that it's fake, it's clickbait. I would recommend anybody that stumbles upon an article, whether it's even from a reliable source, to fact check it. And you'll find out before you share it. And don't trust Facebook. Facebook's going to sway. They're going to say it's falsified information because they're far left. But then you also have the sites that are far right. So you have to find out. You have to do, what was that? Reading Rainbow? Was that back in the
Oh my
late
goodness,
80s?
the
Early
80s.
90s? 80s? Okay.
80s, 90s.
Don't believe us. Look it up. Look it up for
Correct.
yourself. It's kind of like
And
what we say as pastors, right?
Right. And Stephen, I appreciate you saying that because I'm really trying to get the truth out to everybody. I do not want this program to be an echo chamber. Never. I don't want an echo chamber. I want the truth to be discovered, but not the left truth, middle truth, or right truth. We want the Bible truth. We want God's truth. We want the truth of the gospel. We want the truth that supersedes any of man's thoughts. As somebody said earlier, God's ways are above our ways. His thoughts are above our thoughts. And if ever before, our country, our society, and our world needs the truth of the gospel. What happens is, and from your experience, once you've gone down that rabbit hole, once you've started sharing, and then it's later proven to not be true, you've lost your ability a little bit now to communicate in the future, right?
Oh yeah, you've lost credibility. You've lost
credibility.
You've lost all that stuff. And listen, it's not just with C19. It's not with not just with that stuff. Politics. This is with everything. I do a lot with technology, and we all know if you guys have iPhones or anything, Apple's coming out with an event. And do you know how from the time this event ends, I think the announcement's on the 15th. The day after, they won't even have that phone in the store, and they'll already start the rumors for next year's phone. And us as tech guys, we sit there and we go, yeah, I'm not going to believe that because they were wrong about this. It's all over the place. It's not just in this paradigm.
It's every paradigm, including the church.
Oh, it's really rampant in the church. That's the sad part about it. And I think in some instances, the church is kind of edging it on and egging it on because they just, I think people are scared. And so if they can find something that fits their narrative, it gives them comfort instead of looking to God, who is the ultimate comfort. They start looking at man because man is telling them, well, if you do this, you're going to be fine.
So, Stephen, let's flip the narrative now. This is going to be good. Now, let's flip the narrative. I think we can counteract this. And the way we counteract it is by building community of truth.
Mhm.
We do it one step at a time. We do it one level at a time. Whether it's your example with your life. So when you started streaming and getting into all this, you were at the very beginning of the streaming era.
Yep.
No community, no viewers, no nothing.
Just me and a webcam.
You and a webcam. Are you running all your cameras right now? Or just one?
No, I have all my cameras, yeah.
All right, go ahead and show them.
Oh, you want me to go? Okay.
So, folks, here's Stephen's studio, and this is just like one minute. There you go. Just want you to see the power of possible. He started with a webcam and a computer, and God started opening doors, and he's built a community. And now Stephen has impacted me and ultimately you as a viewer and a part of this community. My first equipment to get going, Stephen gave it to me. My first lights, first cameras, everything. Any problem? Stephen and I talk every day. Here's the example I want to get to. We have a relationship now. Now let's take that to our communities. How do we get past this negativity? Because now I want the hope train to roll for the next 8 minutes. Here's the hope train. Can we counteract it by building a community of hope? Yes or no?
Oh, absolutely think you can. Yeah.
All right. How do we do that?
I think it's based on building relationship and talking with people in the community rather than just assuming everybody has the information or not ignoring people.
If you want to build a community, you build it one person at a time.
Build it one person at a time, and you treat that person. I mean, I know from when I did this, I treated that one person when I would go online. If it was one person there, I treated him like he was just as important as if I had 1,000 people in there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had, when I first went live almost 15 years ago and I had 10 people, man, I sat back and I said, man, 10 people for an hour actually cared what I had to say. And that 10 people turned into 100, which then turned into 1,000. And, from that point, I treated everybody the same and I was accessible to everybody. I didn't sit there and get on a high horse and say, well, I got 1,000 some people now watching me, 10,000 people. You're not important anymore. No, I went on and I, just like you do, and I try to interact with every single question as I can. And those people were patient because they knew that I was going to do that.
So now take it down to community members. So now you're talking to the community of the experience. It's a Tuesday night and it's a Friday night program of hope. We look at the news, we look at politics, we look at the truth of God's word, we look at prophetic things, we look at all of it. Okay. Now I'm a community member and I've decided, okay, I like what this guy says. I may not always agree with him, and sometimes he's a little goofy, but I feel like I'm getting some truth. So I want to start now being active, sharing, being one who gives hope. So what do we do together as a family? How do we counteract all this negativity, whether it's in the church or in the news? What do we physically, individually do?
Start communicating positively and stop spreading the hatred. Stop spreading the false information. And if you're not sure, find somebody that you do trust to bounce something off of. It's okay to sit there. I've already said that to you, right? I found articles that I thought were kind of iffy, and I says, hey, PG, I said, what do you think of this? And you're like, don't even look at it. Don't even give it a second thought. And we trash it, right? And I think that helps weed the garden, so to speak, and keep the community garden happy and flowing.
So the message that we want to get out, the hope that we want to counter out the negativity, it's absolutely not a hopeless cause. Let me ask you this. You are a pastor as well. You're in a great church. You work together with a great staff. Love you guys. Do you think this technology, this online communities, and you see, if you've been watching the chat, I literally have people in here from most states. You know, they'll come in and say this state, this state, this state. And those watching later. So we can use the power of this technology to bring hope. Do you believe
Absolutely.
this is a part? Do you believe this is a part of the end time revival technology?
I don't see how else you're going to get into certain places. I think this is your ticket, man. This is your gateway. And you know, we're all called to be preachers and teachers. We're all called to spread the word, the message to the ends of the earth. And how else are you going to get to the ends of the earth? I mean, technology is there. It's how you use it. It's like people that use Facebook to post all their drama and everything else that they post in their lives. Facebook wasn't really intended to be that way. It's what people made it to be. You can use Facebook to build your business. You can use Facebook to flourish a community. Or you can make Facebook a cesspool with everything that you're upset about with your family, your friends, your job, and be unemployed for the rest of your life because this stuff doesn't go anywhere. It's your choice.
So, my dear friends watching tonight, let's choose wisely. Let's choose to be a community of hope. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you that are a part of this experience. I am, dude, I'm loving it. Got a hater. Man, I love you over there, CFC Samalito. This is awesome. Let me tell you, you know you're getting the message out when the haters are coming. Hey, Stephen, people, a lot of times, like my dad the other night, I had a hater jump in on the YouTube chat and started just having some fun. I had to block him because I love everybody, even CFC Samalito. I'm not going to block him yet unless I have to. It's cool. Right. But here's the deal. Why am I happy that haters are coming? As a broadcaster.
That means you're doing something right. That means you're doing something right. Right.
So, you know, I just want to bless everybody.
You get haters all the time. And that's, you're putting yourself out there.
Sure.
If you put yourself out there, people are going to disagree. And that's fine. You want people to disagree, but there's a tactful way to do it. And when the haters come, you know you hit a nerve and you know you're on target. So
that's
you keep
the way
going.
I see it.
Yep. 100%.
Well, I can tell you this, Stephen, you've been a big blessing to my life. And doing that, there's a lot of viewers on Facebook and YouTube, and I get the Integrity Television numbers later. You've impacted everybody in my programs. And I want to publicly, part of the reason I brought you on here tonight was, one, to introduce you, two, to tell people the truth about the power of media and manipulation. But number three was to publicly thank you for everything that you've invested into this program with technology, with training, with teaching, and may the Lord abundantly return it to you and yours.
I appreciate that, but I have to fear for the audience though.
Okay.
Because we're just getting started.
Oh,
we're just getting started.
There's a lot more coming. Just getting started. Well, folks,
a lot more coming.
A lot more is coming. This is my friend Stephen Haywood. I always talk about him, and this is the guy behind it all. This is the guy that made all of this happen technically, Yeah, I can talk. I can pull content together. I do know technology, but I learn, whether it's from Steven or even Chris on the audio side. But the reality is, this is the guy that made it happen. And because of that, he's impacting you. He's impacting all the states, all the viewers, all the churches. He's impacting all of our groups, our local church family here in Pennsylvania at Bethel Life, and our extended family around the country and the world, and even those that are a part of just the Experience family. So we're very thankful. And Stephen, thank you a lot, buddy. This was perfect. I appreciate everything. Look at here, because the haters listed. There you go. Go ahead. Because they mean haters are listening. Amen. It will eventually sink in a godly way. Yeah. How they gonna know the truth if they don't hear it? Guys, thank you all. Stephen, thank you. My dear friends, special show tonight. We looked at what was going on around the country. We looked at what was going on around the world. And we are thankful that even though it looks like things are divided right now, it's not over, because united we are going to stand. Rick Barry, you're going to fly that flag again, my friend, with a broad smile and a big puffed out chest, because we're going to make a difference, and the kingdom of God, the kingdom of light, is going to stand up strong, and the truth of the gospel is going forward. Stephen, we love you. Thank you guys for everything. May the Lord bless you, keep you, cause his face to shine upon you, be gracious to you. May you walk in more peace than you can possibly handle, and may the revival fires of the kingdom spread through the nation. We love you guys. Good night. We will see you Friday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, ready to rock and roll. Good night.